Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we are here to talk about Raising Canaan. This was season 2, episode 8, and it was titled "A House Is Not a Home." And truer words couldn't have been spoken. I think Rock was hoping that new house would, give her a new lease on her relationship with Canaan, but he is not feeling her at all.
No dice. New house, still lying though.
That's the problem, and we've said this so many times before that would be her demise with Canaan because he can't take it anymore. So if you guys want to start there, I mean that's a great place because the episode kind of opened with Rock going over to Palomar and doing exactly what we knew she would do, threatening her.
And you know what? And I did not blame Rock one bit because if that was my child, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. What's crazy to me was hearing that this was not the first time that she had been messing with young boys.
Yeah, she'd been preying on them kids.
Yeah, so I was like, she is just trifling.
Look, I think.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I was like, Ryan is joining us and he's joined us before, and I think we neglected to mention that he is a guest spotter. Holding it down for Ron, who's still on vacation, so he'll be back later today.
Ron.
Yeah, and Ryan, jump in. Feel free to jump in because we run our mouths a mile a minute on this show.
Oh man. Yeah, though that was I don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Well, I was gonna mention why you think of your thought. I was gonna mention Famous because he was, ear hustling, and he's the one that let Canaan know that Rock had stopped by. So I was like, okay, Famous over here being nosy. And then of course he also goes through Canaan's bag and finds that DNA test. And so I'm like, oh wow. So what does this mean for Famous? Is Canaan going to trust him to hold his secret should he figure it out?
Yeah. Nope.
Or does Famous have to go?
Famous has to go. I was thinking, I was talking to my son about that, and I was like, okay, Famous was, ear hustling, like you said, with the situation with Rock and Palomar. Then he went in his bag, and I said, and he talking about he was looking for his backpack. But hold on, you ain't been to school in weeks. So you ain't looking at nobody's backpacks. You just being busy. And then you know how Famous is. He's always writing stuff and putting it in his rhymes, his bars.
Yep.
So I'm like, what if Canaan gets to a point like, not now, but what if he's the one that kills Famous? I mean,
I can see that happening.
Only because remember, I always just go back to that line when he said to Tariq that you're not a killer until you kill someone you love. Yeah. So I just wonder.
Well, we know he took Jukebox out, so if he could do it to Jukebox, he could do it to Famous.
Right.
You say about taking out somebody he loves. I feel like Kanan's gonna end up killing his mom. I'm pulling out there.
You know what? It's not too far-fetched with the way things are going.
I mean, like Tariq and Ghost, Kanan and Rock.
Yeah,
are really similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far out there to say that. I think.
I don't know what it is with the Power Universe moms when the kids take out their fathers. It's like a constant trend in each show.
Well, Rock and them are kind of getting it from all directions though. Because Scrap's mom pulled back up and was kind of pressing Kanan to talk to his mom about that issue because it's kind of crazy that you just accept that, my son who was one of your most loyal soldiers and somebody who you cared for, supposedly, you just let his death slide and you listening to the police, since when does, their word hold weight in the hood?
Right.
So and everybody is looking a little shaky on Rock's end.
Right. And everybody, I think I'm sorry.
His mom is going to be a problem still. I think she's going to get in the way of something.
Oh, she got to go anyway because she's a snitch.
Yeah.
She's a snitch. And she's going to be a problem because she's opening Kanan's eyes.
Yep.
And that's just going to continue to fester all the, the division between Kanan and his mom and stuff. And the thing is, anybody that knew Scrap knew he was a soldier.
Right.
And it doesn't even make sense to think that he would take his own life.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too about how Kanan went to Detective Howard's house to stay. Because previously he had gone to the house, packed up all his stuff. He talked to Jukebox and he was saying how much he doesn't trust Rock. But Juke kind of like pointed out, like, you don't even know how to take care of yourself. You better pack some extra drawers. You know, so I think Kanan is in over his head. And like going to Howard, I liked how Howard was trying to be there for him. But I think he also is like gleaning information from Kanan. So now he realizes that Rock and Kanan are beefing. So that gives him more ammunition to go against Rock and whatever she's doing.
Absolutely. He has an agenda too.
Yeah, it's a lot going on with that situation. And so when I talk about Rock receiving it from all ends, because I think she's setting herself up for a bad alliance with Cartier because she's going behind his back. And, you know, we see in the previews, he's talking next week about making alliances and like buying into her business. But she's over here backstabbing him, trying to snake and work behind the scenes to maneuver to get this guy Abraham out of jail so that they will align with her instead. And I'm like, that's kind of a dangerous situation to be in with somebody who, like Cartier, who she really don't know like that. Yeah. And I think we've talked about our suspicions of him being dangerous or gangster or something. He got some edge to him somewhere.
He does.
I think it's gonna come out.
He confirmed it. I mean, he said when he was on our show, Omar Dorsey, he said that he's dangerous. So, and
you heard Zisa this week. She told Lou, like, I think Cartier took care of them Jamaicans. What you scared for? So if he can handle those Jamaicans, I'm like, he got something with him. It's some more
and she does too, because
definitely
clearly she's not afraid to be in the mix on this stuff, because she was laughing when Lou pulled up on the DJ and stuff. Everything. Like she ain't flinched when he killed Crown. Like she's definitely with it.
Zisa got some. It's another side to her. So I got my eye on her too, because I don't know if I trust her all the way.
No,
I really don't. I'm still watching Zisa.
And I don't think Lou does either.
And it was funny how, you know, he was declining to sleep with her and she kind of kept pressing it. And I'm like, you know, I don't think he's feeling her as much as she is feeling him, maybe. Or I don't know if it's a trap too. Like maybe she's trying to lure him in to like fall for her. Because I think behind the scenes, her and Cartier are working together on more than just music.
Probably. And I think so too. I think he just and plus I don't think Lou is the type that shows his hand anyway. You know? And number one, I think he probably was bothered about the situation with Jess, because I think he didn't care for her. And number two, he's always poker face and stuff. I just think he's the type that he doesn't show his cards. He keeps stuff close to the vest.
And I think it's going to be more a problem for him now that Crown's body has been found. So I know he has a powerful alliance with Cartier, but I don't know if Cartier is powerful enough to make that go away.
And I thought that was kind of sloppy on Lou's part, because I was just like, if you're going to get rid of Crown, you need to make sure he is never found.
Right.
Like, I was like, the brothers, as much as Rock has been slipping, this week, I feel like the brothers have been slipping, because both now the body, Crown's body popping up, that's Lou. That's on Lou. And the situation that happened with Tony is on Marvin. So the fellas have been messing up this week.
Yeah, real bad. And so, I mean, I wanted to talk about that because I seem like that was the main meat of the show, you know, Marvin's actions and how they came back this week. And Unique was really trying to let him know, like, I mean, if he ain't dead, then there's a chance he could still talk. And that's exactly what happened with this dude, Dominic. And Marvin was trying to call around all the hospitals trying to get the scoop. And he was like, yeah, you know, that's my high school friend or something like that, trying to get details on this random white man. And so, of course, he didn't get any information, but Dominic runs his mouth the first chance he gets. He's trying to save himself. And I really was not feeling all of those racial slurs they was throwing out this episode. I mean, I know it's they're trying to be true to the time period and trying to be true to that kind of animosity that is between those two communities. But I was like,
well, I mean, we see the same thing when we watch The Godfather of Harlem. I mean, there's, you know, on both sides.
Yeah, they get in the hands for all of that.
Yeah,
yeah, but I'm still wondering about Unique because he's kind of playing both sides of the fence right now.
Yeah.
And so I still don't, he's in it for himself. We already know that from last week. He made that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, you know, now that the Italians are pressing him to give up Rock's operation, if he said he's not going out like that in the previews, but
no,
I don't
the thing is this. You know, and my son said something that was interesting, and I think I kind of agree with him, because the reality is he brought Rock and them to the table. You know, so he vouched for them.
Yeah.
And so now, like, his name is on the line. I mean, his neck is on the line too. Like, you vouched for them, and now my son is dead. So it may be a situation where they both are going to have to come together, you know, Unique and Rock's team, to go against the Italians. And then after that's over, then after it's over, it's back
to square one. Yeah.
It's you and I. But right now, we got a common enemy.
Yeah. Because I think there's a mutual respect between him and Rock still, even though like she put him in a bang. She did put him in a bang. He still respects him, you know. I mean, he still respects her. So
yeah, and Unique kind of forced Marvin's hand. He forced Marvin to come out and tell Rock what happened. So I was wondering if Marvin might not have some issues with Unique because of that now.
I mean, it was better that it was said before she got there and got blindsided.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what he just said, like, hey, you want to tell her? You want to tell her what's up? Like, you know, better him than to get there in front of the Italians and they dropped them.
Yeah, but you know, I was really proud of the way Rock stood up for Marvin. Because Sal was like, you know, you killed my son. I need to take your brother out. He's got to go. And he, you know, Sal even said, you're lucky I'm not coming after your son, you know, and that kind of eye for eye type deal. But he was like, you know, Marvin's got to go one way or another. And she stood up to him and was basically saying like, no, we're even. Marvin didn't actually kill him. He was like, that was your man that did that. And as far as we're concerned on this side, like, we don't owe you nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I was really like, okay, that's how you go to bat. Even though Marvin is kind of like the family screw up, she still stood tall for him.
She did. And that scene reminded me of, you know, like in Snowfall, because remember Franklin did the same thing for Leon.
Yep.
You know, because what's his face was trying to what's Man what,
yep. Man boy.
Man boy. Man boy.
He was trying to come after Leon.
Man boy was like, no, you need to let us get at Leon, you know, and he was like, nah, I'm not turning over none of my peeps, and that's how he
and he even Sal was like, you know, why do you feel like you got to be so tough and hardcore? Is it because you're a woman in a man's game? And Rock was like, this is who I am, basically. Like, I was like, Rock is that chick. Like,
she
they
is.
really
Don't play with her.
They gotta respect
with her.
Yeah, she is not to be played with. Palomar learned that.
Yeah. I was genuinely surprised that Palomar actually like listened to Rock. I thought maybe her. Well,
once she seen that gun come out, she had no choice.
She saw she was not playing.
Right.
He pushed when Kanan tried to come to the house, like she pushed him out the door, like, look.
Yeah.
She informed him like she was on a football field, like, look, no, I can't deal with you no more, Kanan. I was like, yeah, you better.
Yeah, it ain't worth your life, girl.
Like, I don't care.
And so it was interesting to me, like at the end, you know, we see Marvin, he was really trying to get all of his affairs in order this episode, which has me worried. I'm scared for Marvin because we talked about him and Jukebox. Jukebox and her mother, we had this scene happen where her mom basically calls an intervention for her. and is trying to, pray the gay away, as they say. And so, we knew that this was going to happen. We knew that Jukebox's sexuality would be the breaking point between her and Kenya. Mm-hmm. And so now that that was a bizarre way to try to get somebody to go straight. Like watching these weird videos.
That was like a cult. They were beating on her and everything.
Yeah.
That's like an exorcism type of thing. I was like, whoa.
It was odd. I was like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. Yeah, so I can understand why she's scarred from that.
Look, and the look that she gave Kenya too, like you can see when Juke just hardened. And I was like, oh, we're seeing the beginnings of
Jukebox.
The Jukebox that we saw in OG Power. Because the way she looked at her, she just really hardened. I was like, wow. And I was mad at Kenya. And I was proud of Marvin for stepping to her too.
Yeah.
Yes, because he definitely did go check her, and it's unfortunate because what he told Jukebox about Kenya, she's tried to be there for Jukebox, but she didn't ever accept her as she was. Mm-hmm. And so Marvin was right in that regard. And so like once Jukebox went over and told her, I don't need you, I never needed you, I think that sealed the deal between them. But the conversation that Marvin and Jukebox had later on in the episode, after she burnt up all the stuff her mom gave her, and Marvin finally had the talk that I had been waiting for him to have. Mm-hmm. Basically accepting accountability for all he did and trying to use his anger management lessons to navigate him through the conversation with her. Mm-hmm. So I was really proud of Marvin for doing that and trying to make amends. And Jukebox seemed like, I don't want to really talk about it right now, but I do appreciate you saying that. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that Marvin is going back and making amends with Jukebox, and now we seen what happens at the end where he goes to talk to Renee and they get shot at. I'm like, could this be the end for Marvin? Do you guys think
not
they
yet.
actually
not yet? No. I think first off, I want to say that why was he out? He was supposed to have been laying low. He is supposed to be laying low. And the thing is,
why would you bring Renee into the, people are after your neck. Why are you gonna go and hang out with this woman who is not street?
He wasn't thinking. He was so excited because remember he had dinner with her, or he had or coffee or whatever, and he was telling her about the issues between he and Juke. And I think he was so excited that he had a breakthrough. He wanted to run and tell her, but he forgot that you got a hit out on your head.
I think Renee is gonna be the collateral damage here.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. I think what's gonna happen, just looking at the previews, it looked like they're going at the Italians next week. I saw Lou with the gun. They probably play like Marvin is dead, and Marvin I think Marvin gonna be in the cut. I think he's gonna be in on the revenge plot.
You know what? Them Italians got to get some better hitmen, because how you just shoot erratically at people, but you don't actually check to make sure they dead? Like, what are you already missed Rock when y'all was in the Catskills, and now you do this kind of, haphazard shooting at these two. Like, they didn't even look like they got a clean shot.
No, I think they hit him like the shoulder. Either they looked like he got hit in the shoulder or something like that when he was like protecting Renee. He grabbed her first.
I think he probably did grab her and stuff. She probably is dead though. Hopefully not, but she probably is.
Maybe she might be injured. Because she might be asking questions like, what do you really do?
That's true too. Hopefully maybe,
Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised if both of them make it. The way them shots was taken, they were horrible.
They sloppy, period. Because first of all, Dominic should have been off the payroll and, just out of the scene, period, after the Catskills. That's why I said I was surprised he still had a job. And when Marco took him with him, I knew there was going to be some foolishness going down.
Well, he ain't got to worry about that no more.
No more. When he said, when I get out the hospital, I was like, all right.
He was like, make sure he don't see it till dawn.
He said, I was like, the only way you get out this hospital is in a box.
Yeah, so it was a lot going on there. I really hope I think that Marvin's gonna make it through. There's no way that that he goes out this early. But if he did, that would be a good case for the Jukebox, you know, storyline, you know, and how she got so cold-hearted and everything. But you know, I think she got plenty other reasons for why she could also be that way, besides, you know, if Marvin was to pass early. So I mean, it's a lot there. I think going forward, because it looks like you said next week there's going to be a war with the Italians, and Rock is basically saying like, we don't have to beat them, we just got to make them bleed. And so I think she's going to be aiming at taking a lot of those Italians out so that their army is not as strong as it was. But that's always tough when you're talking about going to war, because Rock really don't even have the manpower herself. And that would mean she's got to rely on Unique and his men as well. Like you said, you know, Tiffany, I think you said they would probably team up temporarily. But Unique is a stake. Like, how you know he ain't gonna, you know, turn sides and just knock out the problem with you. You know, you can't team up with the enemy sometimes. So
I'm telling you, this is, you know, common enemies. It's just a temporary truce or whatever. I'm telling you.
Yep. Yeah, so it's making for like a really good season finale, because I think we got 2 episodes left. And so it's like I can see how every week they're up in the ante. And even with you got something to add first before I switch gears a little bit?
No, I was just go ahead, Ryan.
No, I just had an idea of like, I wonder if they take out the Italians, is it going to be like a deal between Rock and Unique, where like somebody takes, like Unique takes Jersey and Rock controls the South Side? That's like,
that could be a good compromise.
Like, you get
especially if she's able to seal the deal with the folks in DC. She might not be so worried about giving up Jersey if she can secure that deal. But who knows? The only other part that I was going to bring up that we hadn't touched on yet was Detective Burke. Because you know, we seen Malcolm go over to talk to Captain, and he was basically letting Captain know all that Burke had been doing, digging up information on him, and it wasn't really in terms of trying to help with the investigation. She was just being nosy and digging up dirt. And so Captain told her, like, you better tread lightly. And what did she do right afterwards but go and confront Rock in the grocery store?
Of all people. I'm like, she just put a gun to Palomar's head. And I just think next she can ready to say to Howard, like, listen, I tried it your way. You know, but I'm about to get her up out of here. But I think Howard is lining her up, though. I think he's getting ready to set her up to
you heard what Captain said about Nicole's parents and how they actually suspect that Burke was out here giving drugs to young girls and kind of being a predator. So I was like, that was kind of a twist in things, because they were, well, at least the mom was dead set on going after Jukebox. Now, after that visit that Detective Howard had with Nicole's father, maybe he fed the father some information that, like you said, lines Detective Burke up to get taken. So
because, you know, they can say like, hey, how did Jukebox find her mother? It was Burke.
Yep, that's a good point.
She's been spending time with Jukebox and stuff. They can use that to corroborate that story.
Yeah, they really can. Burke, but man, she has been on my who can get the hands list consecutively this entire season.
Yes, and she's earning her death, I think.
Yeah, and she's turning into a real Greg Knox.
See what happens.
So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how things continue in these last 2 episodes, because we know there can't be a situation where there's no casualties. So I don't know. I think Marvin would be the most likely person that people would assume to go out,
but he's there too. But I don't know that. Just like in Ghost 2, you know, we thought that about the family, like the Tejada family and stuff like that. First two seasons, I don't know if we're gonna have the major characters yet. Like, you know, Zeke is gone on that. But that's why I'm kind of feeling that way about Marvin 2. Like maybe not yet season 2.
Yeah.
You know, because I maybe season 3, 4, like
I think Famous is one that could go.
I think
that.
He's set himself up for it.
Warrell,
yep.
He can get caught in the crossfire and stuff. Burke could go.
Yep.
Burke can go. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good list of people that could probably get taken out before the end of the season. Yeah.
I also feel like Scrap was also really big, kind of like major death in a way.
Yeah.
It was.
And especially now that Rock knows that it wasn't really him that was ratting, so that changes
Scrap's
things.
Mom might go. Scrap's mom might go too, because she might find out that she is actually the snitch.
Yeah.
And then especially she keeps pressing the issue about Scrap and everything. Yeah. She might end up going too.
Yeah, it's a lot that can happen in these last 2 episodes. So I got my eyes open. I think that we're on the right track with some people. But I think I'm still really worried for Lou. Just because of he's not in a good spot. He's on shaky grounds in the music industry and in terms of the police officers. If they come in and like, oh well, likely they're gonna start investigating people that were closest to Crown, and so that's going to be any relationships that he have or any kind of business partnerships. That's always the first people that they go to in an investigation. So I don't know, because this is still early 90s we're talking about. I don't know how advanced, DNA and stuff like that had gotten. I think it was still in the early stages, so they really might not have a lot to go off of, and especially with his body being in the water and bloated like that, they really might not get anything.
That's true.
So I don't know. I enjoyed it. You guys have any other predictions or any other comments you want to throw out there for this episode or in regards to the remaining episodes for the season? Predictions? Who can get the hands? Who gets the game ball?
I was gonna say that not only does Lou have to worry about the cops and all that, he has to worry about Cartier, because Cartier has the other half of that the half of the half of the label, and I don't trust him. Right. Yeah, I was like, we know that he gets his hands dirty. Stuff. So yeah, Lou, he's one to watch with Lou too in that partnership. But let me see who gets the hands. Burke gets the hands
for sure.
I think Kenya should get the hands too.
Yes.
I think Kenya should get the hands for allowing her church.
Oh yeah.
Like
everybody in that church group. Everybody in that church can get the
Yeah, everybody in the church group can get the hands. Get them a dose of their own medicine. And Game Ball, I want to give it to Marvin for standing up, but at the same time, Marvin messed up.
I want to give it to Rock for standing up for Marvin. She held her ground.
Oh yeah,
Yes, you know what? Rock can get it, not only for standing her ground as far as Marvin, but also for how she stepped to Palomar, because Palomar deserved it.
Yes, and I don't understand why Kanan couldn't see that. Like, I know the lines are blurred. Yeah. Well, I know, but the lines are blurred between mother and son. And so I know that they have like a different kind of relationship, but the fact that he would think that his mother wouldn't check an older chick for dating her teenage son.
Well, you know why? Because his mother also had him shoot a cop.
Right.
And you also end up being his father.
Right.
At least as far as we know, that's his dad. But that's what I'm saying. So the same mother that's saying, this ain't, this is not Mary Poppins.
Because Kanan kind of checked Rock on that too. I mean, he was being very froggy this episode when he was talking about Palomar, why'd you go to her, why'd you do that? And he kind of insinuated like, you kind of did the same thing. Like, what you talking about?
Yes, but still, he need to stay in the kid's place. He was wrong. Rock was right to step to that woman. He's a child. But I do understand where he was coming from, because the things that she's done as far as putting him up to shooting a cop and everything, and having them out there helping her bury bodies and stuff,
Yeah.
that ain't something a mother would do. So
That's true.
Right.
that,
Very hypocritical.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So that's why he's like, how dare you say this when,
Yeah. So I really hope that they can get to a better place. I doubt it, but Rock bought the house. Kanan ain't trying to be out there, so I wonder if eventually Kanan comes around once, I feel like Kanan by the end of this season, he's going to do something. There has to be like something in the storyline that backs Kanan into a corner, because he's kind of like the only one that doesn't really have any of the consequences of former actions weighing on him right now. And so that's why I kind of feel like if he was to take Famous out or something like that, that he might need somewhere to run to that nobody knows about, that's kind of like off in the suburbs somewhere, kind of low key.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like something very big is going to happen with Kanan that's going to force him and Rock to come back together. Like he's going to need her again.
Well, I mean, if they go to war with the Italians, he ain't going to be able, he's not going to be safe. He's going to need to be with his family and his mother and stuff. And she's going to be like, I don't care what's going on. Right now, we're at war and you need to be here.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Okay.
He might help out in the war.
Huh?
I said he might help out.
Yeah, he might.
It might be time for him to step up. So, like, you want to be part of this? Right here.
I don't know. That's a very big first job to be on. We already seen he failed with delivering the money and getting robbed. If you can't even do that, how am I send you out here to war?
Well, he can shoot.
Or can he?
Teach him how to shoot? Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't kill, but he does know how to use the gun. He does. Do we see a scenario where Howard dies this season?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they want to hold on to Omar Epps a little longer too.
Yeah.
I like seeing him on the show. And
yeah, he's killing it. Everybody's killing it.
Everybody's killing it.
Yep. Yeah. So
pay attention.
I've been really impressed with this season.
Yeah, the writing is really well done. The acting is superb. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got something, Ryan, before we close?
I was gonna say Famous could get the hands too.
For sure.
Yeah, Famous to get the hands too for being busy.
That's a good addition to the list.
Yeah, Famous is being really busy, so he could get the hands as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for joining us. This has been a really good discussion. I really enjoyed this. Please, you guys, all that are watching, please drop down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts about this episode. Also, give us your predictions for the remaining episodes for the season. And also subscribe to our channel. Click that little red subscribe button in the corner down there. Make sure you are also clicking the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. There's some stuff we got up our sleeves, and I'm just saying you might not want to miss it. So that notification bell will be important. Also follow us on our social media platforms. We are at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everything. So follow us there as well. You got anything else to add before we close out, guys?
Okay.
Nope.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. You're welcome back anytime. And next week Ron should be back, so I know you guys that have been missing him, he will be on the next episode for sure. Okay. So look forward to that. And I think on that note, we'll call it a night. So we'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.